Lots of questions about the new school year, including this one about a Texas educator's code of ethics. A viewer asked our Verify team to look into whether teachers are breaking the code by going back to the classroom. Marcelino Benito verifies.
A viewer concerned about restarting in-person teaching sent us this screenshot with the question, has it occurred to anyone that we will basically be violating the Texas educator's code of ethics if we teach face-to-face? The screenshot reads, the educator shall not intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly treat a student or minor in a manner that adversely affects or endangers the learning, physical health, mental health, or safety of the student or minor. So let's verify. Our source here is the Texas Education Agency. A quick search on the website and we found the Educator's Code of Ethics. It's part of the Texas Administrative Code, and it provides rules of standard practices and ethical conduct for educators. And in Title 19, Part 7, Chapter 247, Rule 247.2, Standard 3.2, we found what we were looking for. So we can verify that yes, this is an actual part of the Code of Ethics. When we asked if resuming face-to-face teaching during a pandemic violates it, the TEA told us in part their public health guidance is designed to significantly reduce the likelihood that an outbreak occurs on campus. They add that any assertion that teachers are violating Standard 3.2 of the Code of Ethics by doing their jobs is unequivocally false and completely unfounded. So we can verify that teachers returning to face-to-face teaching are not violating their Code of Ethics. With your Verify, I'm Marcelino Benito, KHOU 11 News.
The Verify team helping you separate what's fact and what's not. If you have something you want us to look into, email us, verify@khou.com, or reach out on Facebook or Twitter.